Well, what up, YouTube? What up? This your boy James, and I'm here to talk a little NBA. Um, I want to talk about the pathetic New York Knicks and the pathetic Brooklyn Nets. Now, um, I kind of like the New York Knicks. I kind of like Carmelo Anthony. I always was a fan of Carmelo Anthony, but the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets, they flat out stink. Their record right now is let's see. The Knicks is 3-13, and the Nets is 5-12 in the Eastern Conference. That is really really bad. Um, the Knicks um was was a good team last year, and the Nets did okay without Kevin Garnett, Jason Kidd, and and Pierce. Now fast forward to this year. Um, this is some fucking bullshit for New York fans. I'm a big fan of the NBA. I'm a Lakers fan. I got on the Bulls hat, but I got all sorts of NBA hats in my closet. It don't matter which one I wear. So, but anyway, the New York Knicks in the Brooklyn Nets, it's really becoming a bad story for these two franchises because I thought that these teams was gonna contend for an NBA championship. And it's really crazy when you got the Atlanta Hawks way ahead of the Knicks. What the fuck is going on in New York City, guys? Is this something in the water this year? Because I'm a big sports fan, and I like to see the big markets compete for an NBA championship. I thought this would have been a great opportunity to have two high market teams in the NBA, and I thought that this would have been the opportunity for fans to get to see two title contenders in the Eastern Conference from New York and Brooklyn. Now, my thoughts on Jason Kidd's run as coach, I just think that it's not panning out too well for Jason Kidd. I think the transition from player to coach is really getting to Jason Kidd a little bit. Like, um, it's just hard when you're trying to come from being the best point guard that you ever can be to a coach. And I could have expected the Brooklyn Nets to get off slow, but the New York Knicks, I really didn't think that. I really thought that this team could be better. They brought in Meta World Peace. Marcus Stoudemire never stays healthy. Ahmad Shumpert is there. Ray Felton. Mike Woodson really had this team playing a little defense last year. Tyson Chandler is hurt now. J.R. Smith just now coming back into the groove. And I don't know what the guy offer is wrong with Carmelo Anthony. Um, Carmelo Anthony is trying his hardest, but it's just unacceptable for these two powerhouse teams to be so low in the Eastern Conference behind the Milwaukee Bucks. Um, the fuck that. New York Madison Square Garden, they better get their monies back. Get some refunds on them season tickets because they fucking suck. These two fucking teams don't make no. They don't even try to win basketball games. And if you look at the net situation, I think that it's just too much depend. They just took depending on Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce to carry this load, and they already done did that in their careers in Boston. Now, if you would have gave me the Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce from Boston in 2008, I would have said, hell yeah, the Nets got a chance to win the NBA championship. Now, everybody was saying the Nets was gonna beat Miami. Now, fuck that. The the Pacers look like they ready to take the Eastern Conference by storm. Fuck the Miami Heat. Paul George, man, dude, the All Star. But the only thing I can say is, can this be cleaned up? Like, which team gonna turn it around? Because the Knicks, they expect their teams to do good, and I know Spike Lee over there having a heart attack right now because his Knicks is not playing good basketball. This is just fucking unacceptable that you never can see the New York Knicks win the NBA championship. And I don't think it's gonna come anytime soon for real. I just think that the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets are in trouble this season. I think this experiment with J. Kidd, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett, and there with Joe Johnson, and Darren Williams didn't work because, quite frankly, Joe Johnson needs the ball, and Darren Williams needs the ball, and I don't think Kevin Garnett can be as effective on defense as he used to be back in his heyday. I think he's just slowing down. But the Nets just put so much pressure on Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce to come down and carry this load, and Darren Williams is hurt right now. Now the New York Knicks, they just don't even try to win basketball games. The Knicks just flat out suck, man. They I thought last year, like when they lost to Indiana, they was gonna come back and be hungry to come back and win the NBA championship and try to re cycle what they did last year. But because the New York Knicks really had a good season last year, it was just that they couldn't run with Indiana. Now you coming back this year and you won't even fucking try, man. I could expect it from Brooklyn, but not New York. And Carmelo Anthony want that money. He want that paper next year. I wouldn't pay him shit if he gonna play like this, man. But I gotta give more respect to Mike Woodson. But Mike Woodson do try to get this New York Knicks team on the right page. But I think he just losing his team. I think if I had to choose between Jason Kidd and Mike Woodson, the one that's gonna be fired first, I think that Mike Woodson gonna go first. I think the New York Knicks gonna pull the trigger on Mike Woodson because he just ain't getting the job done right now. And Carmelo Anthony, I think his days in New York is over. I think he's gonna leave New York next summer. And as far as Jason Kidd goes, I think that the learning process is just now getting started. But we want the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets to compete in the Eastern Conference. You know, I'm not a fan of them, but I just like to see the Knicks be competitive. So you know what I'm saying. So the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets, they just need to get it back together, you know, because I think fans is really expecting these two teams to really compete out there out east, you know, and it's just a shame that these teams ain't competing right now, and the watch is still on, so maybe they can get back and play competitive basketball out there in the Eastern Conference, but to make it fun, I think that they need to kind of get things back to flowing, you know. So people will be criticizing him, you know. I like to talk about NBA. I like to talk about wrestling. So thank you and peace.